Hello, and welcome to a brief demo. Today we're going to add a chat capability onto one of our Kobai demo tenants, and we'll do that by creating a Databricks Genie Space on top of it. Genie is a new product from Databricks that uses large language models to let you ask questions in a chat interface on top of private data in your Databricks account. The demo tenant we're using today has an ontology describing the structure of Lego sets and has been populated with data about parts that make up those sets, set themes and names, minifigures, etc. Questions like these are easy to make in Kobai, but it would be nice if we could make it even easier by simply posing a natural language question. But Genie's ability to give good answers is directly related to how much semantic context it has about your data. We want to chat with our data in human terms, specifically terms that make sense to our own teams. But our data is typically described in technical terms, schemas and column names, so we have a disconnect between the technical language of the data and the human language we want to use. To bridge that gap, we need to add semantics to the data, describing it in familiar terms, and that's where Kobai comes in. Back in Kobai Studio, our users have created an ontology reflecting their view of this space. In this case, they brought in some notions of product management so that the Lego data can be discussed in more general terms than specific things like minifigures or set inventories. Now, in my Databricks account, I'm going to get the Kobai Genie Spaces Accelerator out of the marketplace. I can simply get instant access to it and accept the terms. Great. Now to get this Genie going, I'm going to use the Kobai SDK, and luckily the marketplace has a notebook that I can use for that. I'm just going to import that into my own workspace. This sample notebook gives an overview of Kobai and briefly walks through what went into creating this Lego demo tenant. So first, we'll install and initiate the SDK, which just requires that we confirm a few configuration parameters and then run this cell. Perfect. Second, we'll get a look at the tables that have been shared as part of this demo, each representing a class in the ontology that was built in Studio. And now we can run a specific Kobai question. This is one of the questions we saw in the tower interface earlier, number of sets by year and theme. But here I can run it directly as a data frame, so I can use the output of this question directly in any data science activities I might be doing in this notebook. And finally, the main event. As I run this, the Kobai SDK is analyzing the ontology of our tenant and using it to provide context about each concept in the model and each property. It's metadata that enriches the data from the original Lego dataset and will give Genie a lot more to work with when we start asking it questions. There. Now that that's completed, it's given me a link to access the new Genie space that it's built. And now the space is configured and ready for me to use. I can start asking questions like, which sets have the Star Wars theme? And since Genie tracks context, I can follow up with another question limiting the data. So, of these sets, which one has the most parts? As I run this, Databricks is using their hosted LLM to turn my natural language query into a query that it can run against the data. That's all we have for today. Thanks very much for watching. If you'd like to learn more about Kobai, please hit us up for a demo on our website or check us out in the Databricks Marketplace.